everybody. My name is B.R. Curry. My real name is Barbara. During the day, I work at Otaga Prattville Public Library. I am currently the cataloging and acquisitions librarian. I've been doing that for almost a year. Love it. I love it. Before that, I was the program librarian for about 15 years. So if you've ever been to a kids program in the past, you probably saw me there. And I miss my kiddos, but I do love working with the books. So speaking of books, see how I work that in? I wanted to talk about the series that I'm working on right now. I'm fairly new to the writing world as far as being published, but I've been writing for probably 20 years or so, starting with just jotting things down that pops in my head and going from there. But my first book that actually made it into ebook form, into an anthology, happened in October of 2019. It was a Halloween anthology, and the book was called Big Bad Wolf, My Story. And I want to revisit that story later on. I have bigger and better plans for Travis and Zoe, the characters from the book, than what those 80 pages could give me at the time. So I do look forward to reintroducing myself to those characters into that world. But for right now, I am working on a series set in New Orleans, present day. So the first book in the series is called Too Hot to Handle. This came out March 18th, and it's about the fire station in New Orleans, Station 318. So I managed to have it come out on 318. This one is about the battalion chief, Hogan, and Anna, one of the new firemen coming in. This was a blast to write. So this is Too Hot to Handle. I'm working on the second one in the series right now as we speak. I actually typed the words "the end" last night. Now, of course, it's not really the end because I have to do edits. It has to go to beta readers. I have to edit some more. But I was able to write the end. So, hey, yay, accomplishment. It is also set in the firehouse. It's about the captain and the administrative assistant. And I love this story as well. Authors say that they really shouldn't have favorites. And right now, I've written two in this series and they're both my favorites. And then there will be 3 more in the series afterwards. So I have one coming out. The one I'm working on right now is coming out in June 10th. And the next one will be out in September. The 4th one will be out in January. And the 5th one, which is the last one in the series, in the regular series, will be out March 17th. So basically a full year has passed. And this series as well is a little different, as I have the stories intertwining with each other. Like each book, it's going on at the same time. It's the same timeline. And so several different events happen in the same events happen in the different books. I'll get it out. So it's a lot of keeping track of who's doing what when and who said what when and who was at this fire and who was at this accident and what were they doing. So behind me you see the lovely calendars. That helps me keep track of who's doing what with all the highlights and everything like that. Also behind me you see pictures of Henry Cavill. He is my Max in the second book. I am very, very visual. I need pictures to see characters, and I need more than one picture. And for me, pictures tell stories. I can look at a picture and come up with a scene. And so different pictures help me create different scenes in stories. So that's why Henry is hanging on my wall behind me. I have several pictures already printed out for the next story I'm working on. And so each of these could be a scene. There probably will be a scene, to be honest, for book number 3. But that's how I create these stories, just visually. And I have pictures all around my little writing cave, so to speak. And I just thoroughly enjoy it. I come up with some crazy ideas in some crazy places. I could wake up from a dream and I'm like, oh my gosh, so and so could do this, and they could say that. Oh my gosh, this would work, and I have to run and write it down before I forget. Because if I say, oh, I'm going to remember that, no, it never works out. So I'm dictating into my phone or writing in the notebook that I keep by the couch. Or I have little sticky notes flying everywhere in my purse because I just jot something down and save it for later. I email myself constantly. So that's just how some of the things that I do to get a story out. It usually takes me about 3 to 4 months to write a story. And it depends on how long the story is. Too Hot to Handle is roughly typed, not printed, but just typed. It came out to be about 240 pages, and it's this thick printed. But the book I'm working on now turned out to be 300 pages typed because I just kept writing. I couldn't stop. I kept coming up with scene after scene that I felt like needed to be in the book. I couldn't cut. I couldn't cut any scene. It's like, I just can't do it. Now, my beta readers may have to cut it for me and say, Barb, no, this isn't going to work. But for right now, I'm keeping all my scenes. Speaking of beta readers, that's how we know as writers what works and what doesn't. I live in this world. I live in New Orleans heat. I know these characters backwards and forwards. They talk to me. As crazy as that sounds, they do talk to me. Sometimes I'm at work deep in bookland and a character will start talking to me and telling me about the scene that happened, and I'm like, wait, I can't focus on you right now. And then later on, when I do have time to focus, they don't say anything. Anyway, beta readers are brilliant because they can read the story as the story. They can go on the journey with the characters and not know what's coming next. Whereas I do. I know what's going to happen. I know how they get from point A to point B, point C to point D. So hearing their thoughts, the good, the bad, the ugly, what worked, what didn't, is amazing. So even if you're not a writer, but you love to read, if you could be somebody's beta reader, it's amazing. It's a gift if you can do it, if you have time to do it and you're willing to do it, because every opinion counts. So that's my plug for if you want to be a beta reader. So anyway, Too Hot to Handle is out right now. B.R. Curry. And the next one that's going to come out in June 10th is Burned Into Me. And this is, drumroll, the cover to Burned Into Me. And you guys are the first to see it. So here it is. And what'd you think? Isn't it cool? I love it. I love how each cover will kind of go together. There'll be different colors, but it'll have the same theme, and you'll know that belongs in the series. And if you notice, when the second one comes out, the emblem down here will have changed. It will have Max and Victoria book 2 on it. So this will change with each book as well. So it's so exciting. So here is my website right there. On that website, there's a little bit about me. There's information on my Facebook, my Instagram, how to sign up for a newsletter. I try to keep everybody up to date on what's going on and just fun things like that. I also have a little readers group on Facebook that we just talk about just books in general. What have you read? What's on your Kindle? What do you recommend? What have you read that really wasn't that great? And why? So that's a fun little group to be a part of. So and also on the website, there's a list of all the books in this series, and then a little bit about the series that I'm working on for 2022 and 2023. Because believe it or not, yes, I have a series of 5 books working on right now, but I have a series of about 6 or 7 books, completely different series, that's also floating around in my head because they keep growing. They keep talking to me. Anyway, thank you for watching. And this book, Too Hot to Handle, is available at Atauga Prattville Public Library, or you can purchase it on Amazon. It's $10.99 and it's $2.99 for the ebook. Okay, and the links are also on my website as well on how to get to it. So, thank you for watching.